Hey guys, this is Mrs. Yeagle, and I'm here to read to you chapter 16 of The Darkest Hour. It starts on page 188. The truck bumps and bounces along the road, and we bump and bounce along with it. There's no window to sneak glances out of, but we try to measure how far we've gone by the pavement under the tires. From the smoother streets of Paris to the rough roads beyond the city, and then the dirt paths that crunch and scrape as we draw closer to Verdun. We're stopped twice by the Germans. Both times the three of us grip onto our preferred weapons. Sabine, the machine gun, Tilly, a grenade, me, a pistol in each palm. But we don't have to use them. Once the Nazis order Loren to open the back of the truck, it doesn't take them long to bolt. "Dear God, what's that sound?" one soldier says. "Those are beehives, Mynheer. I'm transporting them to a cousin of mine who purchased them from me," Loren replies smoothly. She's hoping to expand her honey production. "Did you say beehives?" "Yes, 10 of them in all. Do be careful. I believe one of the honeybees has landed on your lapel." There's a yelp. "Close up your truck and get on your way." About an hour after that, the truck tires roll to a stop, and I hold my breath for the 1,000th time. Have the Nazis stopped us again? A cramp tightens in my calf, but I ignore the pain and clamp my fingers around my 2 guns. The back of the truck opens, and the afternoon sun spills onto my face. We've been staring into the dark for so long that my eyes hurt for a good 5 seconds before they adjust to the light. "Girls, we're here," says Loren. I wobble out of the vehicle, punching my thighs as I go to get the blood circulating in them again. Outside, I get my first glance at Lorraine, one of the eastern French provinces, with Verdun located in its northwestern corner. Sloping hills surround us, rolling east toward the German border. Verdun should be a few miles away from here, somewhere west of this worn-down farming road. We told Loren to keep driving until the town was well out of his view. If anyone saw us, how could we explain 3 girls hitching a ride in the back of a truck full of bees? A breeze rustles through the dozens of trees along the roadside, and a flock of sheep chews on fresh summer grass over on a nearby hill. It feels like Loren has dropped us in the middle of a French storybook, but I'm sure the Nazis are somewhere nearby. They could even be right underneath my boots for all I know. Dorner did say that the laboratory was underground. As Sabine stretches until he fetches our bags, I catch a glimpse of myself in the reflection of the driver's window. I've put my hair up in a tight braid, and I'm not wearing a pinch of makeup. But this is the Lucy my brother would recognize. This is me. If I'm to die today, I'll do so looking like myself. Loren gathers us together. "The coordinates you gave me are due east from here. I'm afraid I don't see any other roads that will lead us closer. This is as far as I can take you." "You've done plenty already," I tell him. "You should head back before nightfall." "We want you to be as far away from this road once we reach the laboratory," says Sabine. Loren lingers anyway, pecking us on our cheeks as Christiane did hours before. "I have a second cousin who lives north of here, in the village of Stenay. She's a member of her local resistance. If you need shelter, go to her farm and tell her that Christiane and I sent you." He gives us the address and waits for us to repeat it back to him, even though I know the chances of me using it are slim. After the truck vanishes over the hill, Sabine uses a compass and map, given to us by Christiane, to chart the coordinates that Dorner gave me. With a tilt of her hand in the correct direction, we form a line and follow after her, saying nothing as the forest grows thick around us and the gnats start buzzing about our heads. We've walked more than a mile when Tilly points toward a gravel path that she spots at the bottom of the rise we're standing on. Sabine and I nod at her in silence. If there's a path, then there must be something ahead of us. We trek a bit farther until Sabine raises one fist above her head, her signal for us to stop. She crouches and crawls to the very top of the next hill, where she checks her map again and motions for us to join her. "It's straight ahead of us," she whispers. I peer over the edge. True enough, it's there, just like Dorner said. The hill bottoms out into a flat slice of land completely emptied of trees and completely encircled by a barbed wire fence. A lone brick building lies at the very center of the land. It reminds me of the old post office back home, a blink and you'd miss it sort of place. But this is no post office, and I know better than to skip over it. Dorner told me that building will be our access point to the laboratory underground. "It doesn't look like much, does it?" Tilly says under her breath. "Look at all those guards, though." She's right. There are soldiers on guard all along the fence, more than a dozen by the looks of it, but we figured as much as we discussed our options on the long drive out here. We'll stick to the plan, I tell them. We get in, we set the Aunt Jemima, we run. Except it won't be that easy. I see that now as I squint at the compound again. On the building's roof, I spot a widow's walk, a sniper's nest, probably. We won't have any trees or outlying buildings to shelter us from the gunfire, which leaves us with two options: shooting the sniper dead or sending in a bomb to destroy him. At this distance, however, both choices are long shots. We need to figure out how to get over the fence and take out that sniper. Sabine scrutinizes the roofline with me. We're too far. Not even the best shooter within the resistance could make that shot. How about using a bomb? I quickly nixed the idea. We could destroy the whole building, and the laboratory would remain intact underground. We need to obliterate the whole thing from the inside to kill any traces of that virus. I wait for one of them to contradict me, but they say nothing. Are we agreed then? We have to get down to the laboratory and set up the bomb there. We need to make sure Elias Reinhardt goes down with it. Both of them nod at me, so we're united on that front. All that remains now is figuring out how to get rid of the sniper before he takes us out with 3 clean shots. The trouble is that we'll never get close enough to the building while he's alive. Unless... We need a distraction, I whisper. How much Aunt Jemima powder can you spare, Tilly? Not much. Why? What if we bomb a corner of the fence? That should draw enough attention away from us so we could make it to the building. That could work, but the Nazis could cut off access to the laboratory, Tilly says. Then we'll have to be quick about it, I reply. No one can be that quick, Sabine says while she takes another hard look at the compound perimeter. I'm about to ask her if she has any suggestions, but then she points far to our right. I may have another idea. At 3 o'clock, just outside of the fence. Tilly lets out a low whistle. Why, won't you look at that? It's a patrol. I can't tell what he looks like at this distance, but he does appear to be alone. I see just the one. Shouldn't there be more? I ask. Then I notice something I hadn't before. He's relieving himself, Tilly says. Guess he wanted some privacy. Precisely, Sabine says. The other soldiers can't see him from where he's standing. Stay here. Then, without explanation, she takes a pistol out from her valise, one that's equipped with a silencer, followed by a long knife. She sprints away from us without another word, racing through the forest on silent feet, leaving us to gape at her. I start to rise myself, but Tilly stops me. Let her go, she whispers. She must have a plan. I wonder, however, if Sabine has gone insane. Tilly and I watch nervously while Sabine slinks toward the soldier in question, who's zipping up his pants and stooping down to tie his shoe. Sabine darts behind a particularly thick tree, and there's a flash of metal in her hand. The knife. Just then, the soldier stands straight. Something must have caught his attention, and I have to bite my lip to keep from shouting a warning to Sabine. He reaches for his gun and cranes his neck toward the forest, toward Sabine. But she doesn't need any help from Tilly or me. Whirling around from the tree, she takes aim and throws the knife, sending it whipping through the air and straight into the soldier's skull. He doesn't make a sound, simply crumples like a toppled domino. I breathe in sharply. That was a perfect shot. Not just good or accurate, but perfect. A spark of hope ignites inside me that we might survive this day after all. Minutes pass, and when Sabine returns to us, she's sweating and out of breath. In her arms, she carries the dead soldier's uniform, along with a small pouch she must have taken from him. She tosses the clothes at Tilly. Those should fit you, says Sabine. Fit me? Tilly says, slightly aghast. To get us into that laboratory. You'll take Lucien as your prisoner. Sabine sniffs when she notes the baffled look on Tilly's face, and on my own. We have to get close to the building, don't we? This should get you access. When you get close enough, I'll set off a grenade at the far end of the fence. That should distract the guards long enough for you to get underground and plant the bomb. She pats our valises. Leave me with a few of the rifles and pistols. I'll take out as many as I can up here and join you as soon as I can. I say nothing while her plan settles into my mind. It's a preposterous one, yes, and the odds of us pulling this off are nearly impossible, but it might be our best hope of getting inside the laboratory. Tilly's voice is quiet when she says, They'll find us out as soon as they hear me speak German. I'm far from fluent. Not to mention the fact that she isn't a male soldier, but that's the least of our problems now. Hopefully it won't get to that point. I'll make sure to set off the grenade long before you have to say anything. Sabine tosses Tilly a ring of keys. I found this on the Nazi as well. That should be able to get you through the front gate. Tilly gingerly takes the keys. It could work, I suppose. It'll have to work, I murmur. If we had more time, we could come up with a better strategy to get in and get out of Reinhardt's nest, but every minute that ticks by is another one wasted.